Hi, it's Stephen from OWNorDisown. Now, first off, I apologise. I've had a stinking cold all week, and this is the best I'm going to get with my voice. I know it sucks. Sounds like I'm been sucking helium balloons, but it is what it is, and hopefully you can hear me okay. But what I've ordered was I've actually ordered the Dell G5 and the G7 with the RTX graphics cards. Now, the G7 I've ordered with a 1070 Max Q, and this G5 with the 2060. So if you look at their website, there's all kinds of different configurations, and annoyingly they've just put in they haven't put high-end ones in particularly yet, like the OLED panels, the i9s, the 2080 Max Qs, that type of thing. I don't know what the delay is and all that, but this is what you can basically get at the moment. Now the G5 is there's two editions really. There's the special edition and the non-special edition, and the difference is $20 between the two. Now the special edition is alpine white, and you have that see-through bottom underneath, a little panel there so you can see the heat pipes. So that's an extra $20 there. Now if you're looking at the special edition, it's the base model with the i5, one stick of 8GB RAM and a 1050 Ti. That's at $1,020, and that comes with 128GB SSD, so that's pretty pokey. And you do get 1TB 5,400 RPM hard drive, and you do get this smaller 60Wh battery there and 60Hz panel. Now you step up to $1,170, you get the i7 with the same 8GB of RAM, 1050 Ti. You do get a little bit extra storage and SSDs. You get the 256. And you get to start getting the RTX line at $1,420. Again with the i7, again with only one stick of 8GB of RAM, 128GB SSD, and the spinning hard drive. So if you have that spinning hard drive, you only get the 60Wh battery because that takes up that space. So as you move up the configurations, eventually you do get to the higher end, which is $1,720. You get a 16GB RAM, and that's still, it's only one stick running single channel, and I don't know why they're doing this, because it's proven that dual channel is so much better. But anyway, that's what you get, and you get the 90Wh battery now. And of course, when you got that, you get the SSD there, so you got 512GB SSD. Now it doesn't say what the panel is on that. Now this is what I've got here. I've got this one here. I don't know if it's 60Hz or 144Hz, so I'll test that out. I hope it's 144Hz for the price you pay, because by the time you add on tax, that's like $1,800. So this is a first look, unboxing. And I'll compare it to a few little other laptops I have here, just so you can see what it looks like. And then I'll do a full review to follow, of course. Now the packaging's rather poor, isn't it? Really, it's just a cardboard box, nothing flash. There you get the various pamphlets, user guides, the power supply and cable. Now the power supply, it's a 180 watt power supply. It's only a 2060, so that's perfectly fine. And the length of the cable looks fairly decent. Now it's only the G7 that can be configured with the i9. But supposedly even the G5 can be configured with the 2080 Max Q, according to the rep I met at CES. So whether that's true or not, I don't know. So as you can see, I do have the I do have the special edition here with the see-through here. Now it's covered in cellophane there, but we can still see, you can see the heat pipes there and the small air intakes here. Now it's the alpine white, which I had with my G7 last time, and it does look pretty smart with a silver hinge. Now build-wise, it's a plasticky build. Hey, it's not. You get the all aluminium build, you need the G7. Inside, I believe this is plastic also, so it's all plastic build. Of course, we have a black finish. The big touchpad with integrated buttons. Slight texture to the touchpad, so that it does feel pretty nice as well. The keys, look blue. In fact, let's turn it on. the keys are actually backlit blue as well. Now, you may recall when I was at CES, they did tell us that the backlighting was going to be RGB backlit, and the Alienware control center will have fan control. Let's listen to him say that.
Any fan control this time?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So we have, we've actually, all the new G series products will have Alienware Command Center, which was typically only on Alienware.
Yeah.
So we've ported them down to other parts of the portfolio. So all the new G5, G7 products that you can buy starting today will have Alienware Command Center on them.
That's nice. Okay. That's good software, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can control your thermals. You can, you have your game library. You can do your FX lighting. You can do your Nahimic sound control, and it maps to each individual game.
Well, unfortunately not. I've been into the settings. There's certainly an Alienware control center, but you can't control any fans, and you cannot control the backlighting at all. So all that was fibs. Now I suspect that's pops just for the G7, not the G5. But still, you do get a separate number pad, and the keys, they just feel fine, Up here, it's plastic, but it's quite nice. It doesn't look too bad. Now the power button is here, and it's got quite a bright white light. In the dark, that is quite bright, I noticed. So yeah, that is what it is. Now the panel has quite a bit of flex, I noticed. Even though it's fairly thick, it still has a bit of flex. You do have that central hinge, but it's fairly stiff. And you can open it there with one hand. Now there's no fingerprint reader as far as I understand. There's nothing there, and I can't see any air intakes coming in here. So in terms of air intakes, you have them just underneath there. They're not huge. So here we have it compared against the Razer 15 and the G5. Different beasts, of course, but of course this is the smallest 15-inch laptop you can get currently. And here is the Aero 15X, a new one with the 2070 Max Q. And again, of course, you see that you do get this a bit smaller. And then you can see the difference in size once I open up the lids with the Razer 15 and the G5, and the Aero 15 against the G5. On the left hand side, we have a Thunderbolt 3 port, very nice. We also have a USB 3.1 Type A port and the combo headphone mic jack. Now, bulk of the ports have been moved round the back this time, which is a nice touch. Keeps things more out of the way, certainly for connectors like the HDMI port, any display type ports, as well as the Ethernet port. Now it's nice that you can actually unclip the Ethernet port from the top rather than digging it up around the bottom. We have the Kensington Lock display port, as well as another USB-C port and the power connector. And as you can see, we also have the air venting here. Finally, on the right hand side, we have a full-size SD card reader, which is very good, and the another USB port here. So that's nice. And we do have that nice, pattern going around, maintaining the theme. It does look pretty nice. I do like the styling. The thickness wise, they said it was about 23 to 24 millimeters. That's probably about right. So it's just under an inch. And weight wise, we are 6 pounds 2 ounces. Now I ran this Fire Strike test. Now it's a short test, and I certainly don't recommend running Fire Strike as a benchmark for how hot things can get, because it's only a short test and doesn't really fully tell you much really, compared to playing a game for a good hour or two. That's the best way of putting these things to a test. But you'll notice that the average CPU temperature is around about in the mid 70s. So a lot of popular YouTubers use it and say everything is fine. Well, it's not really. And if you look at the HW info, the peak temperature was 98 degrees, and no doubt that is during the stress test, the physics test there, and that's when the CPU is getting worked really hard, which you'll find in a lot of games. Battlefield 5, for instance, you're working that CPU and the GPU hard together there, and I think that 98 degrees is going to be quite applicable to this system. And it's quite a quiet system. The fans don't seem to go up that loud, and that's why I really wanted to have fan control on this. So disappointing that's not there. But what I find really frustrating is that this cost me $1,800, and that's of course a special edition, so an extra $20 premium for that. But it's got the 90 watt hour battery. So of course, to get that, you don't have the spinning hard drive. you've got the 512GB SSD. Okay, I understand that's fair enough, but this only has a 60 hertz panel, no 144 hertz panel for the most expensive one on their website at the moment. Say $1,800, 60 hertz panel. I'm not too happy about that. So anyway, it is what it is. So anyway, I'd like to thank you for watching. Of course, put in the comments below what you would like me to test, and I will see you next time. Bye.